Hi, and welcome to the SJ Childs Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and today we have a special guest, Kenny Ingersoll. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Um,
And Kenny is from here in Utah, and he is a financial advisor. He's going to give us a great education this evening about where and what we should be doing with our money. Hi, Kenny. Thanks so much for being here.
yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and hopefully I can get some value today and to your guests.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tell us where you work, kind of what company or services that you run.
So, yeah, what we do, we kind of help everybody with the whole spectrum of the financial situation, from simple savings plan to retirement to wealth estate planning, all everything in between.
Yeah, that's a big in between there too. That's a huge umbrella to fit all those things under, isn't it?
It is, everybody needs everything, or, not everybody needs everything, or some people just need this bits and part, and some people need A to Z and then some.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you finding most families are running into right now in this kind of pandemic, post-pandemic era?
A lot of what I'm finding is reverting back to old habits. They jump back to this scarcity mindset. Things are closing down. Business isn't as good. I better keep what little I have instead of being able to invest it over here to help myself later. And they revert back to that. Um, I just lost the word. Sorry.
Patterns, huh? Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely. And what do you advise that maybe people should be doing? Should they be, what kind of outlook should they be having?
Definitely not of scarcity. That's the word I was looking for just a second ago. Definitely, you want to be smart with it and not pretend, everything's happy, jolly, go lucky. But, be open minded and stuff, and have the right things in place and whatnot, so that you have a proper place to put your money that's going to benefit you instead of just burying it in the backyard.
Yeah, certainly. And I'm sure that there's certain age groups that different types of investments or proper savings that can, help them. What would you give advice to maybe a family or even let's say a pre-family couple that are just starting out?
The biggest thing that I would say with people of that age group, even before that, fresh out of high school kind of
Yeah.
thing, is, start now. You may have time on your side, but that's what you want. Even if you start with $50 a month for say, in 20 years, it's going to be a huge difference. You may think you have time, but before you know it, 50 years is going to go by.
That's certainly true, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. And then what about families that might be like looking for a home? What types of, how should they be getting their finances in order?
Um, every situation is unique, of course, and stuff, and it really boils down to like what they want, what their goals are, and what their priorities are. We a general rule of thumb is always to have that emergency fund in place, and so you have some money for a rainy day if your flat tire or washer goes out or roof leaks kind of thing, and you're not digging into your credit cards. And then whatever their priorities are and what they're willing to do or not do to get those priorities.
Yeah.
How bad do they want that priority? Are they willing to give up this over here for a while in order to put these in place, and then they can get this and then some?
Yeah.
Or is it so important over here that it needs to be over here? I'm
Sounds
not
like they
saying.
have to do
Go
a lot
ahead.
of strategizing, don't they?
Exactly. And open-mindedness is a big thing.
Mm.
If this is a must-have, then let's figure it out in the budget. Something else might have to go then. But if you have to have whatever this is, we'll figure it out in the budget, and might not be able to do it as much per se. Let's say it's eating out. Maybe instead of 5 times a week, you do it 4 times a week. But you're still fulfilling that, or meeting that requirement, but something else might have to go or back off a little bit until you get to that point where.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, obviously, like you said, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's financial situations are different. What do you were saying, like, make sure you have enough for like a flat tire, dryer going out. Would you say like $300 to $500 or like 1,000? Like, what's a normal percentage that maybe like a low income family could expect to try to put away?
Even if they started with like $50 a month or $25 a month kind of thing, if they had something,
yeah,
and that peace of mind that it gives them, okay, yeah, we had the $100 for a new tire or a used spare tire versus racking up the credit card and getting interest.
yeah,
But that peace of mind and that confidence that comes with, okay, yes, we got it. We don't have to dig out credit cards. We were able to save for it. We paid in cash, and then it continues to snowball in a positive manner.
Yeah. And, we're in such a digital age. Do you advise that people save that money in cash and like, like in the safe or something, or should they open an account where it, starts to bear interest and things like that?
A mix, again, depending on their goals. Because we could have like a 3-month goal, we can have a 10-year goal, we can have a 20-year goal.
So true.
So if, let's say, you wanted to buy a car in 2 years, you don't want to tie up that money in something that's going to lock it up for 10 years. But maybe you could take some of that money, put it over here, and some of that put it towards your car. So it all depends. We've got a mix. Again, unique to the situation.
Yeah. And I think that that's a thing that a lot of people don't understand is how to manage all of those things, that you can put it in different places to manage it that way. So I think that that's really good advice to give to people, and good topics to bring to the forefront is, find these services that work best for your situation, right? I like that. What about people that are going into, well, I guess let's go back to a little college funds. What should people be doing these days? What are you suggesting for people saving for college funds and things like that?
Again, depending on are they saving, when do they start saving, how much do they have to save? If they got 2 years left of high school, they could put it in something that gets better interest, but locks it up for that 2 years and things like that. Or, be open to working through college, taking a part-time job or working full-time, whatever. If they've got scholarships they can apply for.
Definitely.
Again, variety of options for that as well.
Yeah, good. And lastly, just kind of retirement, right? That's what we really eventually all need to start looking at is retirement. And I'm sure that there's a lot of options available there too, I can imagine.
Yeah, there's quite a few options, and that's also why we talked about this a little earlier, is starting right out of high school, starting when you're 14, 16, just thinking about that. Yeah, you've got some time, but that's what take advantage of that time on your hands, time on your side.
Yeah.
And start preparing for that, and then you'll be not scrambling 5 years before retirement.
Yeah, certainly. And what about investments? Like, do you where you work or whatever, do you guys handle investments? Do you tell people to do investments? So what do you guys do about that?
We don't do a lot of investments. I'm the company I'm with as an independent contractor is World Financial Group.
Okay.
So we don't do like a whole lot of investments like stocks and bonds kind of thing per se, but we have different vehicles, such as like 401k as one of them. We do indexed universal life. It's a life insurance policy with a savings attached to it. And it's so those are the more kind of investments that we're geared towards, something
Mhm.
that's um, more safe and gets you better returns. But again, depending on like the index universal, you'll want to keep your money in there for like 10 years.
Mm,
So
good to know.
somebody that's has a 2-year limit, that may not be the best fit for them, kind of thing. So there's lots of different vehicles.
Yeah, that's great to know as well. And what age do you suggest that people start doing a life insurance policy?
We recommend everyone get it. We even on their kids.
Mm,
I've had it on my son since he was 1 years old.
that's great.
It's such a platform that he can keep, and he can even will to his posterity, kind of
Oh,
thing.
wow. That's really great to know. I really am going to have to talk to you more about that later because that's an important for us. We have a son with autism. And so we foresee a future where, one of our other daughters possibly might be taking care of our son for us. And that, hopefully, he'll be independent, bless his heart. But in the case that they do, we want to be set up for that type of thing. And I know that there are things, able accounts, special needs trusts. Does your company offer those types of advice to people as well?
We work with over 150 different providers, and so we've got a lot of options to pick from, and they have different riders for specific things.
Okay.
Like you said, if one of your other daughters were to take care of them, they can use the funds out of that account for your son, and living expenses and medical and things like that. Depending on what you get set up and structured.
Yeah. And I think it's just like you said, it's so individual to each family because we all have different family types, we all have different family needs. And, just by providing your services or yourself with the services that you can for your family is the best thing we can do. I agree. Now, where can people find you if they wanted to get a hold of you about talking to you about some financial services?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Just Kenny Ingersoll or Kenny.Ingersoll on Instagram. Just all over social media. You can put my phone number and cell phone on email.
Great. And are you seeing kind of like you said, people are have been tightening up? Do you find that it might be loosening up a little bit now, and hopefully people can be feeling a little more confident, hopefully into reopening society?
Well, I've seen a good number of that. There's some cautious hopefulness out there.
Yes.
And especially when people, that have been set up and they didn't lose any money when the stock market crashed. They're sleeping a lot better at night and stuff like that. So it really helps that as well.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, and I see that a lot of people, are making travel arrangements and things. So I bet that things are kind of taking advantage of those newly low prices of things that haven't been available for quite some time, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, gosh, it was so great to have you on here today. Thank you so much for providing some very valuable insight and information because financial strategies going forward in life are so important. And I think that, like you said, telling the young people 14 to 16 to start saving now, I love that message. So, yeah, all those that are listening, please start something. If you don't have anything going, start now. It's never too late.
Yeah, one of my favorite phrases is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now.
Yeah, that's for certain, isn't it? Oh, I agree with that. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I am going to be checking back in with you and seeing how things are going. And now that we're neighbors, I'll just wave as I drive by.
Likewise, and thank you again for the opportunity to be here. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kenny. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.